What is going on, everybody? It's your boy John, and welcome back to Gearbox. So today we are leaving work. It's a Thursday, which means we're that much closer to a Friday. We're in a good mood, and so why not go ahead and make a video? And so that is exactly what we're gonna do today. If you can't tell by this camera view, we are in the 2019 F-150. And that's exactly what we're gonna talk about today. So really the whole premise of this video, this actually happened probably a month or two ago. And I've wanted to talk about it, but I don't know, haven't really found the words to do so. Not that it's anything crazy or anything, but I did want to talk about it nonetheless. But before we get into that story, let's talk about how cars are built. That's kind of a joke, kind of not. But when we talk about typical cars, and what we're really talking about here are the exterior panels. So like front quarter, rear quarter, you know, bumpers, that type of stuff. The vast majority of cars, especially older cars, are actually built out of steel. So we're all in some way, shape, or form familiar with the steel product, I guess we could say. Very durable, you know, fixable, weldable, whatever. But the one downfall of steel is that it's heavy, right? Ford, as of, I think it was 2016 maybe, this is a 2019, so this falls into this category. But when Ford started building the F-150s, and I'm not sure of the history of when they switched or partially switched to this material, but this F-150's entire body is made out of aluminum. So the chassis and everything is still steel, but the body panels are aluminum. And the main reason for going aluminum is because it is a very lightweight material, which obviously lowers the curb weight of the truck and allows more of a power to weight ratio and fuel efficiency and blah, 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 right? The downfalls of aluminum we'll get into in a second after I tell this riveting story. So, like I said, about a month or two ago, I was driving. I was actually coming back from lunch at work, and long story short, I was rear-ended in this truck. Very, very minor rear end. I was actually hit by I think it was like a Jeep Trackhawk. Well, it probably wasn't a Trackhawk, but you know, one of those crossover Jeeps that had a bull bar on it, and it hit basically the right third of my rear bumper, put a little crease in it. If you didn't know that I was hit, you probably wouldn't recognize it, I guess you could say. But I was hit nonetheless, had a little bit of damage, but it was a hit and run. Now, why is this important? Well, the bumper's fine. I know I've talked about it giving me an opportunity to, you know, get a new rear bumper, because why drive around with a messed up bumper when you can upgrade, right? At least that's my thought process. But what I was thinking, and what the topic of today's video is the fact that one of the biggest downfalls of the newer generation F-150s, i.e. the aluminum body F-150s, is that although the aluminum body paneling and stuff is great, it is about as inconvenient as possible when it comes to getting into accidents and getting repairs. Now, in my case, did I have to get any body work done or anything like that? Absolutely not. However, with the F-150 being as popular of a truck as it is, and living in the South, let's be honest, I know a shit ton of people that have aluminum body F-150s, and with some of those people, they have unfortunately experienced, you know, getting T-boned or getting messed up in some way, shape, or form, where it didn't just impact their bumper, but it impacted their rear quarter panels or their front quarter panels or what have you. Even going to something as innocent as hail damage, that is, you know, ultimately going to damage these aluminum panels, it's become an issue with Ford and with these trucks that are made out of aluminum. And the reason being is, as we all know, or probably know, I would hope if you paid attention in 10th grade chemistry or whatever, steel is a very, very durable, strong product. Aluminum trades off its strength and, you know, rigidity for being lightweight and being malleable. And obviously, from the standpoint of a car manufacturer, lightweight is good, but that also means that it's going to damage easily, and it's going to damage a lot more compared to your steel counterparts, right? So in the case of hail damage, when hail starts coming down, if you have a steel paneled truck, there might not be hail damage, but in these trucks, they're more, you know, susceptible to hail damage. Or if you get barely tapped on some sort of fender bender or whatever, a steel truck might not really have any damage outside of a little bit of paint and clear coat getting chipped off, whereas these aluminum trucks will fold in on itself and look like a crumpled beer can. But it's a problem. Or I guess it's not a problem until it is a problem. And so with this whole accident that I was in, that was unfortunately a hit and run, all I could think was, what would have happened if instead of my bumper getting hit, it was the bed of my truck getting hit, or it was the door cards getting hit, or whatever? That would have caused significant damage relative to if I had an older F-150 that was a steel paneled truck. And with the fact that it was a hit and run, all of those repairs theoretically would have been on me, because I wasn't able to exchange insurance with the culprit of said hit and run. And it goes further than that. Not only is aluminum damaged easier than steel or maybe some other you know, materials, but because aluminum is just now making its way kind of mainstream into the automotive industry, not only is it harder to fix, it's more expensive to fix. And that goes into just knowing the aluminum material versus steel. It also goes into welding as well. Now, I'm no professional welder by any stretch. I've welded a handful of times, and I actually enjoy it. I think it's a nice challenge, I guess. If you can get your hands on a welder, go try it. It's kind of fun. But welding aluminum versus welding steel, for example, are two completely different art forms. They really are. It's much more difficult to weld aluminum than it is steel. Now, part of that is due to the fact that from a automotive standpoint, aluminum is newer to the game, and so people don't have as much, you know, practice doing that type of stuff, but it's also just the nature of the beast. You know, there's no amount of experience or training or whatever that could really get you up to snuff with steel welding, because aluminum's just a lot more difficult of a product or material to deal with than steel. So when you go to the body shop, you know, it might, for a steel truck, it might take a week or so, get it bondoed, get it, you know, whatever, right? Get it fixed up, get it resprayed, and you're good to go. For aluminum, a lot of times what you see is, oh, well, we need to call in our aluminum guy. Or this is going to take a little bit longer because it's a more meticulous process to get the aluminum actually back to where it needs to be a, you know, let's call it customer-ready car. And that's definitely something to consider as you're looking at these trucks. Now, hopefully, you never, I never, no one ever has to deal with this. Knock on wood. It's not wood, but, you know, we'll just act like it is. Hopefully, you never have to deal with that. But the harsh reality is, people suck at driving, okay? They're awful. And just a minor fender bender could put a damper on your whole day and could take your truck or car or whatever out of commission for much longer than what it typically would, based on the body shop that you're taking it to and their, you know, expertise and experience with aluminum bodied vehicles. And you know, I've seen this happen, I guess, secondhand from the outside looking in. It's just not ideal, but at the same time, it's one of those things where, you know, what are your trade-offs? Do you like having the aluminum body for the looks or the power to weight ratio or whatever? Or do you just want a truck that you can beat the ever-living shit out of and never have to second guess the durability of the panels, right? And this might seem like a very minor conversation, but when I got rear-ended, you know, it was something that was crossing through my mind. I'm fortunate enough to have multiple vehicles. I have my Supra, I have my wife's car that I could drive and really not skip a beat in my life unless I needed to like run to Home Depot or tow a trailer or whatever when the truck is down in the shop. But you know, if you're daily driving your truck, or maybe you're single and that's literally all you have and the only person that you can rely on is yourself, and your truck's down, sure, they're gonna have loaner cars or whatever, but it's gonna be a lot more of a pain in the ass than just hopping in your F-150 and going about your day, you know? And once again, it's a blessing and a curse, and that's just something that you have to deal with while, you know, purchasing an F-150 or a new F-150 at that. So I just wanted to make this video and just kind of talk through that. If you have any experience with, you know, your F-150 or maybe some similar type of truck or whatever with aluminum panels going to the body shop, please drop your stories in the comments down below. I'm sure they're very, very interesting and will shine a lot of light on this idea. And once again, you know, hopefully this is not something that you have to deal with, but accidents, mistakes do happen, and you know, ultimately you'll have to live with the consequences and roll with the punches until everything's back to normal and you've got your truck back on the road. So once again, if you do have any experiences with this, or maybe even any questions on the aluminum body F-150, drop them in the comment section down below. If you like this video and like this type of content, more of a conversational, you know, topical type of discussion, give this video a big fat thumbs up. And as always, guys, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell to get notified every single time we are uploading a video here on the lovely Gearbox YouTube channel. And until next time, peace.